Just follow my lead. It's gonna be fine.
You're better at this than I am.
Oh, you'll get the hang of it.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build your online presence. Jon Favreau goes all out this week to prove he's not the so-called saviour of Star Wars that I keep hearing about, and is quite happy to join in on the destruction of George Lucas's work. Yes, in this episode we find out that the New Republic are just evil morons that are no better than the Empire. In fact, they seem to be much worse. And the kicking of George Lucas's nuts starts early. After saving Mando several times last episode, Bo-Katan is driving Mando home like a bitch when they get attacked by a squadron of TIE interceptors. Just out of nowhere. Remember when at the end of Return of the Jedi, the rebels blew up the second Death Star and the universe rejoiced in their newfound freedom? Well, we know Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm hated that idea and started retconning it the first chance they got, like literally within the opening scene of the first movie. And this show has already shown us that the rebels' victory wasn't anywhere near as successful as we thought. Well, it was successful up to about 2015. So 5 years on, well, who really knows what it is? 5, 7 years? No one's really sure.
You said that Grogu was with Luke Skywalker for many years.
Somewhere between 0 and 2 years.
Oh, so not that many years.
No.
So 5 to 7 years after the Universal celebrations, we still have squadrons of TIE interceptors flying around for no other reason than, remember Star Wars? The reason for them being there is brushed away by saying they belong to Imperial warlords.
Where'd they come from?
I've scuffed off a lot of Imperial warlords.
Yes, it was fascinating after World War II when there's a word for these people, but we're not allowed to use it on YouTube anymore. So we'll just call them the baddies. Yes, remember after World War II when the baddies were allowed to just keep operating as if they hadn't just lost a major war? Oh, that's right, that didn't happen. But don't worry, I can see the Disney fans' comments now.
It's the Outer Rim. It's a big universe.
Yes, a very big universe. A universe that was all celebrating together, including the Outer Rim. The numbers against the Empire rebuilding would have been overwhelming. And if we do go with the ridiculous cheat of Imperial warlords, where did all the ships come from? TIE fighters and TIE interceptors don't have hyperdrive. They need to have come from a base or a ship. Where is that? And if it's a ship, it can't be just any ship. It has to be one of those TIE fighter wall hanger types. But we don't get any explanation for that. And of course, the writing for idiots continues. We can't even have a bloody action scene speak for itself.
We took a hit.
I'm Captain Obvious, and I travel a lot.
Mando. Yes, Mando literally counts down the enemy ships as he blows them away. Like a simpleton.
Thanks for the backup.
2 more to go. 1 down, 1 more to go.
While Bo-Katan calls out the maneuvers.
Go right. I'll meet you on the other side.
Seriously. But it gets better. After we see her home get blown up, she just repeats that they blew up her home.
Those mudscuffers bombed my home.
A simple "oh no" or "my home," delivered with some hint of sadness, could have been way more powerful, but no. Stating facts is just the new Hollywood writing standard these days.
We took a hit.
But let's share an example of how you can do it if you don't think you're writing for morons. When in A New Hope, it's really called Star Wars. When in Star Wars, Luke rushes home because he's scared the Empire's paid a visit. When he realises that not only his childhood home has been destroyed, but also his whole family's been wiped out, he just drops his head and lets the audience take in the moment. And even when Luke returns to Obi-Wan just says, "There's nothing you could have done, Luke, if you'd been there." George, like most directors, understood the audience were watching the damn movie, so he didn't have to explain what we'd just seen. Well, not in this show. This show thinks the audience has the attention span of a fridge. The stupid show over-explains everything we've just seen.
Those mudscuffers bombed my home.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yes, people love to say Star Wars is made for kids. If that's the case, what age is this spoon-fed trash made for? The way they keep explaining what they've just done. I think it's made for geriatric people with dementia.
We took a hit. I'm sending jump coordinates.
To where?
Someplace they won't find us.
Quick, where are you going to jump to? Seeing as TIE fighters and interceptors don't have hyperdrive, just go wherever you want. They can't follow you. Well, that's unless they have that one special ship that Kylo happened to find that magically allowed him to follow Rey. But let's not wreck this video by talking about the awful Rise of Skywalker. Now, after the battle, we don't see Mando again for most of the show. We do get a bit more of our weakened hero at the end of the episode when he takes Bo-Katan to meet the ever-growing cave gang because he needs to prove that he swam in the dirty cave water so he'll be allowed back in the cult and keep his helmet on all the time, which is so Pedro Pascal can avoid being on set and record his lines at home while choosing his next ensemble so he can compete with Harry Styles in the douchebag clothing awards. Ah, Pedro's a lucky bastard. Gets paid to sit at home and just record his voice. Oh, hang on, that's what I get to do. And friggin' yay, Bo-Katan can now also join the cult and not take her helmet off. That should make the stunt double happy, as she'll be doing all the acting in the show now. So, goodbye, Mando and Bo. And hello, who is this guy again? Well, even the show knew we'd hardly remember, so they shoved him into the recap at the beginning. Dr. Pershing. I know every Star Wars fan has been hoping we'd get more of this guy. I swear to God, Disney are going out of their way to celebrate the boring and ordinary. That's why the show is so boring and ordinary, because Lucasfilm also celebrate ordinary and boring in the writer's room. This is where Jon Favreau decides to really drill home how bad and stupid the New Republic is. This one episode puts the final nail into George Lucas's Star Wars coffin. Well, you'd hope to be the last nail, but I'm sure there's plenty more nails to go. We start with the indoor sunglasses boy, giving a grand talk to all the important people on Coruscant. He delivers another amazing story to match Bo-Katan's retelling of her father's death, when Dr. Pershing explains that he loved his mum and she died.
I lost my mother. Her heart gave out.
He was a great man. He died defending Mandalore.
For the full explanation of why I'm saying that's so bad, please see my previous video. The reason for this grand lecture in this huge auditorium is never explained. We don't even know who's putting it on. He arrives alone to thunderous applause. He's sent a stage like a rock star, then leaves alone. Half of his talk is about him being sorry for what he did. Things that you would say in some sort of court or tribunal, not delivered to a huge crowd.
Though that work is now behind me and I regret what I did, I assure you that my original intentions were good.
And seeing as they must be capturing hundreds of thousands of Empire members, it's never explained why all these people turned up to hear this one guy. Important people even want to meet him, like he's some type of celebrity. He also explains to this huge crowd the important groundbreaking work he'd been doing for the Empire. The work he's not going to do anymore. So it would make sense if the auditorium was filled with scientists and researchers. That I'd understand. But the crowd is full of people who can't tell the difference between who's in charge, and they don't want to really be involved.
Empire, Rebels, New Republic, I can't keep track. That's why I should just keep my mouth shut.
We try not to get involved.
So, why did they all head out for the night to hear this guy talk? Why is this guy selling arenas like he's Chappelle? And why is everyone praising him?
You're just so brave. I'm such an inspiration. I'm so glad you're working for us now.
Thank you.
Dr. Pershing must have the best promoter in the world, seeing as he's virtually a nobody. But strangely, once he leaves the Rockstar presentation, he's just a nobody with a shitty job. A job where no one wants to talk to him or listen to him. Yes, the New Republic are so stupid and so arrogant. They won't listen to any Empire scientists, even after they give a public talk to thousands of people about their incredible discoveries. This show. Yes. Remember when after World War II all the German scientists were sent to re-education camps and then sent to pack shelves at Woolies? Oh, hang on. That's not what happened at all. The US and Russia were fighting over the best scientists, and that's how the space race started. The US were very keen to listen to the German scientists. It was the only way they got to the moon first. And don't hate me. It's just facts. But that's not the new Star Wars Republic. No, the saviour Jon Favreau has decided to make the George Lucas created peaceful New Republic a lot more like a well-known communist party that's taking over the world.
Long live the New Republic.
A real quick break to tell you something very important. Now, all you creators, artists, bloggers, musicians, t-shirt designers, YouTubers, anyone out there that has a great idea that they want to grow. We all have the dream of ditching the boss and living our best life. Well, the most important thing you need to do is give your idea a safe home. A home where people can always find you. A home that can't be taken away from you at any time. Looking at you, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitch, etc. The home you need for all your ideas and content is your own website. And with Squarespace, you can have an amazing professionally designed website up and running today, and it'll look fantastic. Yes, actually today. Sign up for a free trial, choose a cool looking template, then add your own magic using Squarespace's easy to use photo galleries, portfolios and video backgrounds. If you have products to sell, you can sell them directly from your website. And if it's content you want to sell, well, Squarespace lets you add a members area where you can monetize your content right on your own website. Cha-ching! They can even help you start being a social media star, which today is very important for growth. Your idea needs a safe home. You need a website, and with Squarespace, you can have a killer professionally designed website that you can easily manage and edit yourself, and you can have all that today. Go to squarespace.com/robothead and try Squarespace for free. And then when you're ready to blast off, use the code ROBOTHEAD and you will get 10% off your first purchase. See that lovely link below. Get moving on those big ideas and go to Squarespace today. Yes, the Disney New Republic like to have re-education facilities that are cleverly called the Reintegration Institute, a place that is said to be horrible, with newcomers being in a constant state of fear that they'll be sent back there for further reintegration. The lovely New Republic also likes to control and destroy information.
Equipment I'm archiving, it's all coded to be destroyed.
They also like to dabble in a bit of torture to help clear the bad thoughts with their modern day lobotomy machine. Like, seriously. Who in their right mind would have ever thought that when Disney brought Star Wars, we'd be seeing our heroes that we grew up loving literally torturing people with some weird one flew over the cuckoo's nest scene? This is the person you think is saving Star Wars. The guy who can't write believable dialogue, doesn't have a story this season, and has the heroes performing archaic electric shock therapy on people. The rebels blowing up the Death Star now seems criminal. This celebration is watching monsters take over the world. So we have the Doctor who's been given a number for a name. Well, all the ex-Empire staff have been given number names.
Sir M34.
L52.
D27. M40. G68.
Because, you know, Jon Favreau and modern Lucasfilm hate George Lucas, so they have to make the New Republic not only be incompetent, but also inhumane. The naming of stormtroopers by number was a nice way to show how interchangeable and unimportant they were to the Empire. Stripping them of any identity was cold and cruel, what you would expect from an evil, murderous organisation.
Apology accepted.
Not the liberators of the universe.
Hey, what's your name? FN2187. What? That's the only name they ever gave me. Well, I ain't using it. FN, huh? Finn, I'm gonna call you Finn, is that alright? Finn. Yeah! Finn, I like that!
Now, the idea of the universe's newfound freedoms not quite going as smoothly as hoped is an interesting idea. Seeing cracks forming in the New Republic could be a thought-provoking journey that could evolve over many seasons. That's if we had competent writing. But the writing of this show has the light touch and patience of getting slapped with a fish.
Have you experienced any feelings of anger or resentment towards the New Republic government or its representatives?
No.
The New Republic is now just instantly evil, selfish and stupid. So, f*** you, George Lucas. I can just see it now when Disney decide to remake Band of Brothers. They'll decide that instead of having the Allies liberating occupied Europe and freeing the prisoners, they'll have the Allies taking over the running of the camps from the Germans. The Disney Schindler's List remake will be reworked, so Oscar Schindler is not as nice as we thought, and the camp commander will be just misunderstood. And of course, the film will be in colour. Sad part is, I could really see that happening. And the only reason this show is heading in the direction of the evil New Republic is because the idiot J.J. Abrams decided to just have the renamed Empire just be a thing at the start of Force Awakens with no explanation. So we have the suspect officer they trying to obviously manipulate Dr. Glasses. And they do this with biscuits.
Yellow travel biscuits. Yellow travel biscuits. Yellow travel biscuits. Yellow travel biscuits.
Where do you think I got the biscuits?
You're crazy. Travel biscuits.
I kid you not, dry biscuits is as deep as this show's going to go. Anyway, Officer They tricks Dr. Glasses into leaving the city to go steal supplies from an old Star Destroyer, so Dr. Glasses can finish his important work that the New Republic is just too stupid to appreciate. But to do that, they're going to have to leave their designated zone. What masterful plan have the writers come up with to give these two characters their freedom? Well, it's quite amazing actually. The wonderful plan they come up with is that they'll just walk with confidence.
Just follow my lead. It's gonna be fine.
You're better at this than I am.
Oh, you'll get the hang of it.
That's right, because in this futuristic space city, the authorities have no way of tracking people. I remember a day when writers who wrote sci-fi actually came up with interesting ideas. Well, not anymore, losers. There's no Minority Report eyeball face recognition here. Actually, there's no security at all to watch over our former evil Empire members. I mean, they could have come up with something, say a little chip put under the skin that these two guys have to somehow override and remove. Anything would be better than the writers literally coming up with no idea at all. But it's not the first time we've seen that, is it?
Somehow Palpatine. For another time.
And what's most bizarre is that in this world, common bounty hunters have magical fobs that can track anyone in the universe. So you think the New Republic might at least have our earthly ankle trackers? But no, the writers didn't bother coming up with anything at all. Anyway, our two fugitives, with their confident walking scheme, jump on a train like naughty boys getting a free ride. And right at this point, the show started reminding me of the Michael Douglas movie The Game. If you've been fortunate enough to not have watched The Game, its ending is completely ridiculous. And it's an ending I'm about to spoil. So, spoilers. the game movie's ending relies on multiple coincidences to fall into place, so our hero steps off a building at a precise point so he can land on an air cushion many stories below just to learn the life lesson of how to be happy. Now, the really stupid part of this is Michael Douglas's character doesn't know the precise point to jump from, or that there's an air cushion landing below. He's just trying to top himself and turns out to be super lucky. Well, our escapees are also super lucky because they decide to get off the train when they spot the scary ticket inspectors. Yes, that's where Star Wars is these days. Scary ticket inspectors. They realise they've got to stay ahead of the ticket inspectors by escaping through the train all the way to the back carriage, where they find out their only option is to jump. So what's been laid out is the only reason they're here at this moment is because of the timing of the train inspectors. So when they jump... quite a surprise that they land at the precise location they were heading to. What are the chances of that? I'd say about the same as Michael Douglas hitting that air cushion in the game. 0. Now, before we move on, I defy anyone to explain the relationship between these two characters. Is it meant to be growing friendship, mateship, or romance? And if that's the case, more importantly, who's going to be the top? Well, who knows? But I do know one thing. They are really awkward to watch together. I've never witnessed chemistry so low that it's gone into the negative. We haven't had one romance or normal relationship in Star Wars since Disney took over. I mean, it's the basis of most stories, so it's pretty bloody weird.
I knew it! I'm so for this. I'm so happy.
But more importantly as a viewer, what are we meant to feel towards these two characters? Are we meant to like them, hate them, empathise with them? Are we meant to care at all about Dr. Glass's research or what happens to him? I mean, it's all quite bizarre. By season 3 of any normal show, the writers usually focus on characters we have a connection to, and if they are going to introduce new characters or re-emerging characters, they'll get those characters to interact with the main characters before setting them off on their own spin-off journey. But the Mando show just pauses the main story and expects the audience to invest in two characters we know little about or why we should care about their outcome. And to make it worse, the characters are given terrible dialogue and they've been cast with two people that have the chemistry of goldfish. But anyway, back to the story. And in what is a very unsurprising twist, we find out that this whole trip was set up all along, just like in the movie The Game. The authorities were there waiting all along to arrest Dr. Sunglasses. And it's all thanks to Officer They, the mastermind behind this plan. So it really is lucky that they jumped off that train at that precise point. All the writers had to do was have our escapees jump off the train as part of the overall plan, because then it would have made some sense that they hit the soft landing where the authorities were there waiting. But as we know, this is Lucasfilm. They put a lot of effort into making Star Wars stupid. The double cross leads to the wonderful torture scene performed on Dr. Glasses by the lovely New Republic.
You're gonna wipe my mind.
Fan-tasticals.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
So next time you're watching Return of the Jedi, just remember, thanks to Disney, that victory now leads to this.